The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne explores sin, guilt, and redemption within the strict Puritan society of 17th-century Massachusetts. The story revolves around Hester Prynne, who faces public shame and isolation after being convicted of adultery. Her punishment sets off a series of events that affect not only her life, but also the lives of others entangled in her secret. The novel opens outside a prison in Boston, where a crowd gathers to witness Hester's punishment. Emerging with her infant daughter, Pearl, Hester wears a scarlet A on her chest, marking her sin of adultery. She has borne a child out of wedlock, with her husband, long missing and presumed lost at sea, nowhere in sight. Hester refuses to reveal the identity of Pearl's father, enduring the judgment of the townspeople in silence. As part of her punishment, Hester must stand on a scaffold in the town square for hours, publicly shamed as a moral warning. During her ordeal, she recalls her life in England and her troubled marriage to Roger Chillingworth, an older scholar who had sent her ahead to the New World. Years have passed since, leaving her alone in a strange land. Now she clings to Pearl, her only source of comfort in her disgrace. A stranger among the onlookers watches Hester's punishment with interest. This man, small and deformed, is her missing husband, Chillingworth, who has finally arrived in Boston only to find evidence of her betrayal. Concealing his identity, he decides to remain anonymous and takes up the role of a physician, warning Hester to keep his true identity a secret. His hidden motive, however, is to discover and punish the man who fathered her child. After her release from prison, Hester settles with Pearl on the outskirts of town. She leads a quiet, isolated life, supporting herself by working as a skilled seamstress. Although the townspeople scorn her, Hester remains dignified, embracing her punishment with grace and using her work to help the sick and needy. Over time, the Scarlet Letter transforms, symbolizing not only her sin, but also her strength and resilience. Pearl grows into a spirited and curious child, fascinated by her mother's scarlet letter and the mystery surrounding her father. The townspeople view her as a symbol of Hester's sin, with some even calling her a demon child. Despite their harsh judgments, Hester loves Pearl fiercely, but fears that her daughter's wild behavior might signify divine punishment. When officials threaten to take Pearl away, Hester turns to Reverend Arthur Dimmesdale, a respected minister, for support. Dimmesdale persuades the officials to let Hester keep her daughter, though he suffers privately, for he is Pearl's father and deeply ashamed of his concealed sin. Dimmesdale is tormented by his guilt, which takes a toll on his health. However, he lacks the courage to confess his role in Hester's disgrace publicly. Roger Chillingworth, now suspecting Dimmesdale's involvement, becomes his personal physician, using his access to manipulate and torment Dimmesdale psychologically. Chillingworth's vengeful obsession intensifies, and he seems to feed off the minister's suffering. Hester, seeing Dimmesdale's health deteriorate, urges him to escape Boston with her and Pearl to start anew. In a moment of honesty, she reveals Chillingworth's true identity, confessing that he is her husband and their hidden tormentor. Though shocked, Dimmesdale agrees, desperate for freedom from Chillingworth's relentless pursuit. They plan to leave on a ship bound for Europe. But on election day, the day before their planned departure, Dimmesdale's guilt overwhelms him. Deciding he can no longer hide, he publicly confesses his sin, standing on the scaffold with Hester and Pearl. In front of the gathered townspeople, he reveals the scarlet letter carved into his own chest, symbolizing his hidden shame. The crowd is stunned, and Chillingworth, deprived of his revenge, is devastated. After his confession, Dimmesdale collapses and dies in Hester's arms, finally finding peace. Chillingworth, left without purpose, withers and dies within a year, leaving his fortune to Pearl. Hester and Pearl leave Boston afterward. Pearl, now wealthy, settles in Europe, marries, and finds happiness. Hester eventually returns to Boston, still wearing the Scarlet Letter. She resumes her quiet life, becoming a figure of compassion and wisdom, offering counsel to other troubled women. In the end, Hester is buried near Dimmesdale, with a shared tombstone bearing the emblem of the Scarlet Letter, a testament to their intertwined fates and the enduring impact of sin, love, and redemption. Through Hester's journey, the Scarlet Letter reveals the power of guilt and societal judgment, suggesting that true repentance and peace can only come from within.